Alright, so we'll get started. So this is a meeting of the Rutland Zoning Board of Appeals. Present our Vice Chair, Chris Senical, and Art Wells. My name is Rick Surratt. Tamika Murphy, Secretary. So the first item on the agenda is an application for variance, Janine and Will Walker, 126 Maple Ave. They are seeking a variance for frontage.
Mr. Chairman, I'm confused
Yes.
per the application.
Yeah.
You say they're seeking variance for frontage, but they don't list a section in the bylaw that they're asking a variance for. So, I mean,
All right, this is a little unusual. So David George, who's actually here tonight, he just had a casual conversation with me a few weeks ago and just told me that, just gave me a heads up that there's activity at the planning board. And this is a landlocked parcel, and so basically it has zero frontage. I was gonna talk about it.
okay.
And then I was gonna hope that David would fill us in.
I just got a question for just
Yeah.
us as board members. Can we hear an application that doesn't list? They're asking, this is a variance application, and they don't list a bylaw in which they want they want a variance for. Is that something? I mean, you guys are lawyers, so I want to ask you guys: is this something? Is this complete and good enough to actually hear right now?
I think we can at least discuss it.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's so unusual.
Yeah.
So,
This is different.
So, if you.
Yeah, I think certainly that would be the normal procedure. I think sometimes, I think there's a lot of sort of questions about the whole scenario that we don't understand. The planning board maybe does, but we don't. So part of what we were hoping to do tonight is just get a little bit better understanding of the entire situation. But to your point,
And I would love to do that too. I want to find out what's going
Right,
on here.
but
I'm just saying from a legal precedent.
I think you can, what we call it is a speaking motion, okay? If they know what bylaw they're seeking relief from, I think they
Okay.
could say so on the record, and then we
Okay.
would know.
All right.
But we'll see where we
Sure.
even
All right.
get.
Thank you. I'm sorry.
Now, Tamika, it would have, that sheet that I gave you, is there any way to get that up? It's okay if you,
Unfortunately, no.
okay. All right, so now,
I can pull up the GIS map if that makes anything easier.
yeah, sure. Because if it show, what I want to do is I want to show Maple Ave and where the property is. But, I mean, while Tamika's doing that, I know you know your property, and I know David knows the property. So, you got a landlocked parcel, parcel 8, and it's 126. So, you got all these properties around parcel 8, which are also owned by the Walkers, and it's 126 and 128 Maple. The only frontage that I can see on Maple Ave is this little tiny strip.
Yeah.
And let's see, how
That's
many?
part of lot 7.
Yeah, how many?
It looks like it is, but I had a question on that too. But
Yeah.
go ahead.
You
Alright,
mean
so-
where it says 50-foot right away?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Where does it say that?
Well, on.
On that plan there.
Yeah.
Okay. Yep.
And-
Yep.
And so this is not a street, this is sort of an informal driveway, I mean, it's been there for years. And there's a tiny little bit of frontage, yeah, okay.
Yeah. Right out there at Nathan.
Tiny little bit of frontage, that's
That
the only,
actually
that's
lists
the
the-
only frontage for the property. So, they want to convert parcel 8 into a single-family lot. Well, am I wrong? It's a single-family lot?
It's an existing lot now with a
Yeah.
house on it.
Right,
Basically.
yeah, you can show us.
The 20,000 feet is here with the house. We
Yeah.
own the rest of it.
Yeah,
We wanna sell that house because we're gonna move into the house that's back here.
okay,
We've already been to the Board of Appeals to have them accept this as frontage for that, years ago.
oh, years ago, oh,
Yes. So
okay.
this is frontage for this is a deeded right-of-way for this.
okay,
We don't wanna sell this because we use these fields
Okay,
to, you know, we raise our own food,
yeah.
and we use,
Right,
you know, our farm
Yeah, you've been-
situation. We've got a barn, and we've got,
So this
Fields
little,
here.
on this plan here you submitted on your application, sir, this little stub, is this what you're looking to cut off out of lot 8?
Yeah.
right,
That little, right where the jog is, yeah, right from there.
right. and
Just that little
falls
bitty
within the-
rectangle.
That falls within the, parameters of the, 20,000 square foot rule.
TC2.
Yes.
Where is TC2?
If I could,
That
sorry to
runs-
interrupt.
On this-
Tamika, would you mind putting
Who's
up the
this?
zoning
I didn't know
map?
you were back.
This one,
I'm sorry.
Is that the dash line going through
You
there?
could put the
well, I
zoning
don't
map
know,
up.
but it shows
Alright,
TC2.
alright.
Well, there's like a line right here going
Yeah.
through there. Is that the
Alright,
TC2
put
line, you
the
think?
zoning
I
map up.
think, somebody's gotta say
I
something.
saw that too, yeah, I mean, that's nothing.
Alright, so Tamika's gonna put the zoning map up, and what,
Go to layers,
Yeah,
does,
just so you know, the zone line comes right,
then you'll see the zone
Along,
line.
right, we see that, we see that, we see that.
Right, so that line right there is it?
Yes.
And the white side is the TC2 side, obviously, the Maple Street side of that.
Yes,
right. So this piece falls completely in that.
right,
And it's already existing. We have an attorney for when the sale goes through, and he said, don't change anything except the lot size. Don't try to reword anything, don't do anything but just make
Make that.
this lot that complies with the ruling, and then sell the house with that.
You mean the old ruling?
No, the
It's.
TD,
The TC2.
yes, TCD two.
You said complied with the old ruling, I
I,
didn't know.
they're
what
not
you
an
mean.
old ruling.
No.
It's new to me. I didn't even know it existed.
You mean the existence of the TC2 zone, is that
Right,
what you're
yeah,
talking
I
about? All right,
didn't even know it existed. I just wanted to,
Right.
I just wanted to keep my field in my barn.
okay, alright, alright,
Because we're basically, we can't afford to keep two houses.
okay,
And rentals don't work right now for us.
Okay.
They just
Okay.
don't. So, if this is acceptable, nothing's gonna change. It's always been, I bought it with a deeded right of way
Oh.
42 years ago.
like 40, alright. You don't happen to have a copy of the decision or anything? You don't-
Decision?
well, there was a ZB, was, you saying there was a ZBA?
Oh, that doesn't
ruling?
apply to
Oh,
this.
no, that was
at all.
what
You're
what
gonna
happened years
confuse
ago.
them, Willie.
Yeah, I'm sorry. This property here owned all of this.
Mhm.
I bought this, went to the ZBA and asked them, because I had also bought this property that had a house on it and was an illegal subdivision. So I asked them if they would assign the 50 feet to
Mhm.
this and make
Okay.
this comply. And
They did.
in.
So that house that's way out back, sir, that's always been there for
Yeah.
how many
Right.
years?
Yeah,
30
we've owned it for 30.
We've owned it for
Something
30 years.
And it was
It
built
there-
before then?
It was there before that, yeah.
How long you figure that was, roughly?
Just a couple,
It was, yeah, it was
Alright, so
probably
it's kind of-
5,
maybe 5 at the
7 years
most.
Alright,
before
sure.
we bought it.
And now that house on 701,
I don't know.
7.01, yeah, that
That's-
lot right
That's
there.
been there for.
That's been there for 40, you said you bought
Oh,
that 42
no,
years ago?
no, this house has been there for,
The 20s or 30s?
yeah,
Okay.
100 years.
And that owned all that property?
Yes.
That was the
And
lot
then
7.
Their kid needed
Carved
a
out
place to
8.
put a house,
You carved
Put it
out
here,
8,
sold
and
it to
that's
me.
when,
Put that.
that was in 70,
then
Nine.
they put another house back here.
Okay.
And
And
then-
the
So
town
that's
let
where you
them
get
do
the-
it, but it
the-
wasn't right.
Yeah.
So when
So
I
that's where
bought
the-
it all,
so now you got the
I
illegal
asked if
subdivision.
I could straighten it out.
Okay,
And
we
they
did it,
graciously
and.
let me do it.
Yeah.
sure, yeah.
And now, for economic reasons, I wanna sell this house.
Yeah.
Okay,
But
Sure.
I don't really wanna sell
Right.
the other.
So right now, just to clarify, that lot 8, with that home you want to sell, what's
Yeah.
in that little chunk, that's a lot. That's a separate address.
Yes, yeah.
And now,
I could sell that.
What is that, like-
Without even coming here. If I
yeah, you
didn't
can
wanna
just
cut
sell
the
that
land
property off, and that's it.
Right.
Boom, it
But I wanna
goes.
cut the land off, and that's.
But you want to
where-
cut the land off, and that's why you.
That's
Yeah.
where the
Right.
question came.
That's where the question is. Okay.
Right, so if this piece, which complies with the ruling.
Yeah.
But we just had to run it by you, I guess.
Sure.
That's what it
We
sounds
didn't know
like.
where to go. We were told to come here because nobody else knew where to send us. So.
It's a unique
I know,
situation.
We get that a lot, guys.
It's
I
a
know,
unique
huh?
situation.
You're
so-
troubleshooters.
We came to
You're
the right place.
troubleshooters.
Yeah, no
So.
problem.
so at this point, I'd like to hear from David George. Get your input on this, David?
Right, so the existing condition is as described. It's that entire piece, if you don't mind. So the existing condition is this. What they'd like to do is, as they indicated, split the lot here at the zone line.
No, correct me. They want to split it at the corner line, not the zone
Right.
line.
No.
Yeah,
They
the
want to
co-
split at the zone line.
Zone line.
it's inside the zone line, but it
Well,
is.
your application
It is. At
shows
it
coming
is
off the
at-
corner here.
Yeah.
And I asked you that, and you said the corner.
No, this is.
This corner right
Which
here,
corner do
and
you
that,
mean?
that comes to
Hold
just under, just over 20,000 square feet.
This is what I
It's already
sent to
been
Tamika,
surveyed,
but
that's-
Tamika, you didn't put this up, the one from the,
Sorry, Dave,
surveyor?
not to interrupt you. I just want to clarify.
Cover
So
it.
No,
the application you
It's not at the
submitted,
zone
Right.
line, it's.
Shows
I'm
it
just
at the
saying it's
corner line.
Inside the zone line.
Yes, but we had it surveyed, and this is the actual, 20,000 square feet. This is actual survey.
When we applied, it hadn't been surveyed.
Right.
and so does that zone line, that survey line up on the zoning map of the TC2?
Probably pretty close.
It's
Can you
inside
go
of it.
back to the zone map, please?
Yeah, that's not the one,
It's inside the zone.
right.
Because I see this little faded line in this.
And this is different than my prior
Right.
conversation with the applicant, where their intent under a prior conversation was to divide it here.
Yep, and
If
that's
they
what-
wanted to divide it within this, it's
Yeah.
within the TC two. The requirement is 20,000 square feet of area and 125 feet of frontage. So it would appear that it's gonna comply with area, but we don't believe it complies with frontage because this is a driveway to serve this back lot. There's never been any zoning relief for this lot separately. There's always been a frontage requirement since this lot was created and the house built in 1972. So for whatever reason, with this convoluted ownership issue under some prior ownership, I think the advice to the applicant was, this is a possible path that you can pursue. This would be the zoning relief that would allow you then to get your A and R to actually divide the lot and a two-lot common driveway to serve this lot and this lot. And that the place to start would be to clean it up, if you will, and address the frontage issue. Because whatever this is, it's not a street. This does not provide for frontage. The frontage is right here, and the frontage is for this. So while there was some informal access, never formalized, apparently,
Yeah.
it doesn't provide, this does not provide frontage for here. So that's why the
It's,
applicant's
it,
here.
it is formal.
It is
It's in the
formal.
deed.
That right of way was created.
Oh.
For the
when-
old
right
of way-
back house though.
No.
For the back house. A right-of-way is not the equivalent of frontage on an actual street. This does not provide frontage because this is not a street.
Right.
No,
You
it
do
it
not
has no
drive-
frontage.
So this provides frontage for here, the back lot.
The relief, the old relief, I think, was for the house back there.
No, the old house didn't exist when I
But our,
bought it and had the,
as we can see on the map, this is contiguous, and
Yeah.
that this is plainly a driveway. If you do a site inspection, you'll see that this is plainly a driveway being used to get to here and to here.
Yep.
This is not frontage, because this is not a street.
No, I know.
And as we know, you can't derive
It'll never
frontage
be
from something
frontage.
that's not a street.
So you're really talking about the same little bit of frontage that was allowed the first time around now needs to be like re-allowed for this new
No,
lot?
what I'm suggesting is that this is landlocked, and because it's landlocked, the relief would be 0 feet of frontage instead of the required 125 for a lot located in the TC
I
zone.
don't
it'll
follow.
never have frontage. It just
Unless
has-
you
it
guys
has a
decide
right-of-way
to
on
make
the
a
front.
Well, no, I just mean relief. You need relief in the same fashion the old ruling gave relief apparently to some other lot, right?
I'm not clear what the old decision did. I guess it somehow sanctioned this as being 50 feet of frontage for this lot.
Right, that's what I'm trying to say.
And that was done in the early 70s, so I don't know exactly.
That was
No.
just done,
27, no, wait a minute.
17.
We bought it 27 years ago.
20,
It
no, what it
28
was
years
is
ago.
lot 7.01 owned the 50-foot,
Right.
and there was nothing in the back. There was no house back there. And I bought the 2.5 acre piece, and I've lived there for 40-something
8.
years.
Yeah.
Section 8, and that went,
That deed,
that had the right-of-way granted to it.
correct.
However, if I could just interrupt you, I'm sorry.
Yeah, it was.
There's
it
no
was-
zoning, there's no decisions of the Board of Appeals granting any relief for this lot or any other lot nearby. That's on record. So what this did, I'm not,
They, You don't have.
Go ahead, no,
to-
that's all right, you keep going, we got you, go ahead.
Hold on, hold on.
Yeah,
Now
that
we're
throws me for a
confused.
curve, yeah, because,
Now that's
I mean, I
just,
spent a lot of money and time doing that, it
Well,
took
is
5
there-
years.
So
to do it.
What about the
originally-
old decision? There's a decision somewhere
Right.
that you're referring to, right?
Yeah, that assigned the 50 feet, took it away from 701 and assigned it to the rear lot, is,
But not to the lot in question, not to the
Correct.
site
right,
lot.
that was
That-
always there,
so
This-
technically
as long
that has
as I've
nothing
owned
to
it.
do
I
with
bought
what
it
we're
with it.
talking about.
Right.
right.
And so, to get off the subject. 'cause
Did
it's
8 get
confusing.
carved out of 7?
8 got carved out of 7, 8, and the other, this whole thing was one big
It
piece
was all one big
originally.
piece.
Right.
Okay,
So, and the thing we were trying to do is to provide a pathway to the applicant
there you
so
go.
that they could end up conveying the lot out to a new ownership, not themselves, and to keep the barn
I'm proud.
and expand their agricultural holdings. We
Yeah.
realize the value in agricultural use of this property, and there's a high value in agricultural protected land in town. So we were trying to provide a pathway, that's what. All right,
So it seemed, yeah, go- no, go
I was
ahead.
just gonna say, so you're not trying to sell this land to a developer, you just wanna continue to live on it,
Right,
but just move to a different house?
right.
Right, but I don't
Can I
wanna
make a
lose-
suggestion?
We've worked on those fields in that barn for 40 years, I don't wanna
I
give
know.
them
We're
up.
still using
Can I just make a suggestion, understanding what their purpose is here? Is there any way, Dave, and I'm gonna kind of forward this towards Dave, because he's kind of the planning guy, guru here. Could they just carve this chunk of land out off of 8, and then the remaining area he wants, his fields, could they just make that part of 7 and re-lot line this property so that 7 expands
Right,
and 8 just stays with the house, and that way there's never a chance of redeveloping 7 into multiple pieces,
exactly.
and they get to keep the land, and 8 gets sold.
Well, their
Right.
intent is to take the barn and convey it to the back lot.
Right, it's gonna feed,
Right,
They
Sure,
wanna
I
split the
want
lot,
one.
you know, someplace here, whatever.
Sure, yeah.
There's a barn here, this barn would go to the back lot and be part of the agricultural existing uses of the horse
right.
and the fields and so forth, and this would be conveyed out for the first time. This will be newly created for the first time and conveyed out to a separate ownership than the applicant by an A&R. So they have to go to the planning board next if they get this relief here. Get an A&R and a 2-lot common driveway to
To feed 8 and 7.
to bring that into zoning compliance, basically, for the access.
And in doing so, when they split 8, it's not going to be 8 and 8A. It's going to be 8 is going to shrink,
Right,
and then 7 gets bigger with that
Exactly.
piece of 8. Correct?
That's
Am
correct.
I understand that correctly?
Yes, and
Yes.
that, there's already agricultural.
That doesn't stay a separate lot.
No, this will be absorbed into this back lot.
Okay.
And that there's currently an agricultural use happening here now, which will be brought into the larger
Yeah.
holding where there's agricultural uses happening.
And then this map gets reworked in town. Correct?
After the A&R,
Yep.
the A&R, if it's approved, if this is approved, then the A&R, that gets approved, that gets recorded at the registry of deeds. Then the assessor will grab that information and update this map here.
So what's your take on the planning board's feeling of that A&R being acceptable?
Well, we didn't bring it to the planning board at this point because we're trying to work in order, get the zoning relief
Yeah.
first.
I'm not holding anything, but just your gut
The
feel.
board would grant it, they would have to grant it because the lot would then comply with area by this lot and
Yeah.
by frontage because of the relief being granted. The lot would then comply with the relief, and they
Yeah.
would have to grant the A&R.
Okay.
Because the lot would meet the requirements for area in 20,000 and 125 feet. So
Okay.
they would have to grant the relief.
Gotcha.
And then I would see no reason why this site plan for a 2-lot common driveway would not therefore be issued as well, because it's really just acknowledging and kind of, I wouldn't call it a non-compliance situation.
Yeah. One other question, just a couple other questions for the applicant, if I may, Chairman. This home on lot 8, the one I believe you're living in now, you said, is that town water and sewer?
yes.
So that's all town water and sewer?
Yeah, they all
Okay,
are.
and what's the rough square footprint, what's the square footage of that home? Is listed right now.
3,000, I think.
Okay. So, even if it's close, I mean, there's a you got
Again,
a
I-
50% ratio, right, in TC2,
Thought you
Dave?
got all the surveys.
What's the,
50% ratio, what do you mean?
of land and building footprint you can't go over?
To them.
Like in other words, you can't put bigger than a 5,000 square foot property on a 10,000 square foot piece of land in TC2.
Oh,
It cannot be more than half the property
Oh, that's
size. You know what I'm saying, guys? So I just want to make sure if this was there's a thing
no,
here.
'cause you're talking 20,000.
Yeah, well, you're not even close
lot,
to have. You're
so-
not close to a
Yeah, no.
TC2.
Somewhere around the 3.
20,000.
I'm not sure, I
Yeah,
know.
so the ratio is ratio is 0.25. So that'd be 5,000 square feet.
No.
So you can't have more than a 5,000 square foot home on that 20,000
It's more
square
like-
foot.
It's more like
property.
3,000, so that's well under.
Yeah, that's a good point, because that's the floor area ratio. that
Exactly,
applies in
floor
that
area
district.
ratio. Yeah, the FAR ratio. Yep.
So anybody who would wanna put on an addition would have to be mindful that the addition has a constraint
Yeah.
built into the table.
Just so you know,
Okay.
you may want to let them know that they can,
Chris, are you
Yep.
good?
Yeah, go ahead. I got a
No,
bunch
no.
of other things, but I'm gonna just review them now because I think I answered a lot of my questions.
All right, Art,
Yeah, I just wanna understand then, what is the relief that we're asking for here?
The relief would be 0 feet of frontage instead of the required 125, because 125 is what's required.
so it would be a variance for 125 feet,
Well-
right?
Yes, you can put it that way too, yeah.
Okay.
But time out now.
Yeah.
If we can move that lot, I mean, has anybody surveyed that? I think we need a survey plan
I
of
keep
exactly the
handing it to
frontage you want.
I keep handing it to you.
Okay.
We had the
Well, you should have
survey
submitted
done.
it to us,
I did.
not with your application.
I gave it all, I sent an
We
email to
emailed on it to
Tamika,
the board.
and apparently she never got it, so,
With your application, that should have come.
no.
Yeah, we didn't have it
We didn't
then.
have it at the time of the
I
application.
understand you didn't. That's
She
why it's
said
not with your
that was
application. Why you
fine.
should have had it go.
She said that was
Yeah.
fine to do a hand sketch drawing, so there's Maple Ave, and there's the house in the survey from Mark.
So I can't read that. Is that 110 feet? It looks like.
I don't know which one you're looking at.
Or the frontage of that lot right there. That's what's in question.
118 feet.
Janine, so this block here and this is all
This
eight
is
right
the
now?
house.
This
Yeah.
is all eight right
Yes,
now?
yeah, all of this is it.
All right, so, all right. Now, I mean, without this, it's really kind of hard to understand what we were trying to do.
Yeah.
Right, that's why I
Now
submitted it.
now it's,
to the
bec-
town.
well, all right,
Yeah.
all right, that's fine, we got it now.
Right.
Now it's becoming clearer to me.
That's not frontage,
Okay,
because this is not a street,
The frontage is here.
but this frontage is for this back lot.
I get that.
all right.
That's what I kept trying to say.
Yes,
Yep.
that's exactly
You
right.
know, I have to draw my own.
We're asking for 0 frontage.
I'm gonna take a picture.
So you're, yeah, I
I'm
mean,
gonna
so
take a
you
picture.
want a relief from the frontage requirement
Right.
straight up.
In total, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
0 frontage. Then it's a little over the 20,000 feet, so that would be the only requirement.
Right, everything else is, if you get that, the planning board,
Do you wanna keep that?
you're inside the
Oh.
area that you need and you're good.
The area would comply, and they would have to
The
get the
green is
A&R.
existing and the red is what we're working on.
Yeah, it wasn't surveyed till we realized the
Okay,
height,
sure.
Right.
so that's,
Sure,
Don't worry
sure.
about it.
Yeah.
It is
Okay,
now.
great.
yeah.
All right, now,
And I don't know how efficient we are.
all right, so I just want to do this so everybody can see when I ask this question. So the frontage on this is what, 100, is this 118?
Yeah, that's not frontage.
But it's.
I realize
The
that.
size of the lot.
I
Size
realize.
of
It's
the
a
lot.
lot,
Right.
it's
Yeah.
a property line. It's a
That's
side-
what made it come just over the 20,000,
All right,
that
so we're-
dimension. That's what
The
it-
only part you want to sell is this in
Yes.
pink or orange, whatever. it's
Yep.
called. All right, okay. Leave that there?
Perfect.
Everybody can see?
Just so you also know,
That one.
we're attaching this to this property, but we own this property and this property too.
Right, we own all of those.
So it's not, it's not like, it's gonna all be the farm again. I put it back
Still the
together,
farm.
I did the opposite of what all the developers do. They buy a
Right.
farm and cut it up into 6
Right.
pieces. I bought 6 pieces and
Trying to
put it back together.
Yeah.
Cause it was, at one time, it was all one property.
I'm sure.
I know, huh? Good old days.
Yeah, Janine did some deep research. It was incredible how many times it's been
All
bought
right.
and sold and cut up and done.
Okay. Okay. So the question is, what, I mean, all right, I guess.
Just one thing I want to clarify with
Go
these,
ahead,
with the
go
applicant.
ahead, go ahead.
You said, and Tamika, for the record, the home you have right now, that in lot 8, that's approximately 3,000 square feet? you said?
Approximately, I'd
Yeah,
have.
yeah, no,
to
give or
do
take,
taxes.
I'm not, but it's not 4,000 square feet,
No,
right?
No.
Okay.
no, it's
All right,
three.
if you just make sure that's point of record. Thank you.
Yeah, but see, the line goes through, so this is all, so this little square which we're talking about is all TC2.
Yes.
It's all TC2, okay.
Yeah, just, so you can see it.
All right, so now I
That
know
line
what-
is right
all
here.
right,
that
now I
you're
know what
looking
section
at.
of the
No.
bylaw, so it's 10B.
No,
Yeah, it's square with this.
no.
Yeah, 10B.
So 10B, As David indicated, it's 20,000
It goes over.
and 125. I mean,
Because
I'm
you kept telling them to
just,
bring it
yep,
Okay, good.
I was just looking just to satisfy my own.
So this is a
goals.
variance
Well,
for 125 feet of
fits in.
frontage.
over. It does.
That's pretty much what this is, right?
Yeah, it is, it's like,
Well, I
This
don't
is
care
your-
how you say it, but you're basically asking to not have any, there's zero frontage. So you want relief from the frontage bylaw, period.
Yes.
Yeah. So it's not about getting 125 feet of frontage. It's-
No,
well, I was just phrasing it as I've seen it phrased
Well,
before,
that
you see
Sure.
0 instead of 125, but one of it, this,
Yeah.
how I think it's phrased.
Well, you can
Tomatoes,
write it,
tomato.
yeah.
Yeah.
Potato, potato.
And it's not for building something, because they're all existing. Everything's existing. It's there.
Okay.
Right, this is highly unusual.
Rick, so can I just
Please.
amongst the,
Yeah.
No, please.
just between us, so, I mean, my concern, number one, is if we had a plan, surveyed, that they could submit, because I'd like to see where the TC2 line and this line that they want to carve out is. And if it's different or if it's the same line, it would be nice to see that all on one,
Yeah,
by them.
I understand that. Does that help at all? Because this is the line, this is the line.
Well, I mean,
I know, it's not,
I mean, it helps, but here we are making a
Right.
decision on this,
Right.
and we don't have that detail. And I'm not trying to drag this out
I remember
because honestly,
you
I
asked
don't
about
have a
that.
problem
I
with this
thought
thing.
he
The problem I
talked to
have
you
is
and
the
was
mess.
gonna do that.
Yeah, I think
What
so.
do we
I
give
think
them?
draft plan.
Where does the lot
Did he
lines
give
go?
you one?
What zone are we in? Are we in the zone? Are we
Some
out
of
of
the
the
notes that we
zone? I
talked
don't even
about.
know.
yeah.
Now
I'd
listen,
have to
I'll
go
be
back
honest
and
with
look
you.
at it.
It'd be nice
because
and
my
clean if we
memory
could just do
was-
this thing right down
Yeah,
the
yeah,
zone.
Yeah, he was
About what the
supposed to
purpose
do
is.
that.
Yeah,
In
the draft
21,200 feet. I don't care.
Dave seems to feel
I-
that it is what it is.
I won't be able
As
to
far
do
as
it
where
on
the
my
line,
phone.
the TC.
Did
believe
would
that's
you-
been done.
do you think that the entire parcel is all in TC2?
What they want to develop is in the TC. I have seen a draft plan from their surveyor, and it's clear based upon, well, it's more accurate than this. This is not as
Well,
accurate because you have.
Chris is saying though, where is that line?
The
Where-
TC line is right here. You see the darker color and the lighter?
So
Sure.
it's
The
this
zone line is right here. The
This
darker
line.
side is R40 and the lighter side is TC.
Right.
So it's right here.
I mean, listen, I'm making a decision on this. We're sticking our neck on this line. I want a survey drawing stamped by somebody that says, this is the lot size, it's X amount of square feet. I want the boundaries, the dimensions put on it. And I want to see if it falls in TC2 or not. I mean, I think personally, I don't feel comfortable voting on this without that information.
Well,
Now,
then
and I'm
that's
very
not-
much in favor of this,
But it
but
doesn't have.
I don't know what I'm voting on right now, and I'm not
the
comfortable with that
DC,
personally.
and he was
You know what I mean? I
supposed
don't
to
know.
put the DC on.
It's very close and it's all right there, but
Yeah, he was.
And
then I would like to
to
see this
to-
other
That,
lot
that's
get-
actually been
get,
done, it's just, it
undone,
isn't here.
like become part
Well,
of
then,
lot 7.
you know,
You know what I'm saying?
I'm not
Go
saying
on.
you should, but you
So-
could.
Because
We
I don't
could
want to leave this
continue
another
this for
over the lot.
the next
Gotcha.
hearing and
You know what I mean?
just submit it, and then we have it, and then we go. Then we go.
Do you,
Okay.
how
Well, it's like
hard would it be
Tamika's
to
supposed
get,
to have
to get
all
that
of this. I
surveyed
forwarded
plan
the
and
email
showing
to
it?
her.
So
Go up
that's,
to my
She
office.
said she never got it.
You have it in your
It's my
office?
office up there.
It wasn't
Okay.
saved in with the
Well,
town
but
clerk.
Chris evidently says even that is not what you're talking about.
All right, so Chris, go ahead.
I guess, all right, so we're talking about making a decision, okay, to reduce the size of an existing lot that's not even conforming right now, okay, which is hairy in itself, okay? Yeah, you have the right to sell that lot 8 off just as it is, but you don't want to do that, you want to keep that. And sir, I honestly, I don't have a problem with that, to be honest with you. I mean, you guys seem like good folks and everything, you're working hard, you're doing your thing, and in general, we're not really making the situation worse. It's just, it is what it is, right? We didn't create this, but we're gonna do it.
Right.
But all I'm saying is, I don't feel comfortable voting on something that I don't know, I don't have a plan in front of me that states what exactly the dimensions of your new lot is going to be, where that falls on this TC2 versus R40 zone that goes right through this lot 8 somewhere.
Okay.
And I think we, personally, I feel I just want to see
I
that.
honestly thought that was already done.
It's
It is
not in
done.
your
It is
application.
done, but it's not here.
Yeah.
It's
Okay.
not in front of
Now,
you.
the application, I was told, was acceptable to get into the meeting, hand-drawn. I
You
had a
understand.
surveyor hired, he came out, I've got the paperwork, all of it was supposed to go to Tamika and Dave, and apparently it didn't happen,
No
and I
problem.
wasn't aware of it.
Yeah, no problem.
Dave, Dave,
So,
I have a draft survey from their surveyor. What he did was he shows that 8 is buildable, and he has a note that the remainder is not a buildable lot. That's on that A&R. It's a draft, I don't remember if he put the zone line in, but he did put a zoning table in for the request. I mean, I have the map in the office.
So, Dave, one other question for you. What is the process internally in town, legally, when this lot, let's just say we approve this lot gets split wherever he wants to split it, and then the rest of 8, how does that get flipped into 7 and become just one parcel again?
It's gonna be the function of the assessor's office. So what happens next?
Yep.
If this is approved?
Sure.
The next step would be for the applicant to go to the planning board to get an A&R.
Yep.
An approval not required. That allows for this land that you see here.
That
that's
shrunk
split.
down piece to be approved. Yep.
Correct. Well, it does 2 things.
Yep.
Parcel with the house is conveyed out because it's buildable. The remainder has a note on it that it's not a buildable lot. That goes with the back lot. So the assessor would get that map after it's recorded at the registry of deeds, and then modify their maps based upon the recorded instrument, which is the plan. That the plan shows what's happening with this split.
So does that piece, let's say in R40, right, that long rectangle piece,
Yeah.
that his fields, does that stay a separate lot though? That's non-buildable, or does it become part entirety of lot 7? That's like 21 acres, but now it's 22 acres.
At this point in time, it would be a parcel because it has its own identity
Yep.
on the current plan as not buildable. This doesn't preclude the applicant from some time in the future doing a
Become-
lotting plan where they dissolve all the irrelevant interior lot lines.
Yep.
So that's possible in the future. They could dissolve the interior lot lines, but for the present purpose,
It would stay its own lot,
correct. Its own parcel.
its own
That's
parcel.
what's happened to all the others. The one above.
Yeah, no, I'm just trying to figure out the legal thing
And-
here, sir.
These
So,
never.
excuse me 1 second, sir. Excuse me. I understand. I understand how this stuff's been carved
They
up.
just stayed
I know.
lots when we bought them.
But I would feel, I mean, personally, I don't know about you guys, but I feel more comfortable that thing just became lot 7 and that line was dissolved and then there is no more separate parcel / lot, you know what I mean?
right, right.
But,
You mean?
I just don't want to, someone's gonna come in 10 years for a variance to put a house up on the thing. You know what I mean? So,
What we wanna do is
I have to
get
think
rid of
it's-
all the lines
after it gets sold.
and make
Yeah.
the, just so you know what our intention is, we wanna get rid of all of those lines and make it one, and that's for homesteading purposes.
Good, yeah, no.
Yeah, we want, there's 35 acres there
Oh, no, yeah.
in one house. And we wanna put it
Just
together
make it all
as
one
the
35
farm.
acre parcel, yeah.
Right, but this is the next step. We've been working on
And
this
the one
for
thing I'm
years.
concerned about, I hope you understand where I'm coming from, is, let's say in 20 years from now, you guys sell the property for whatever reason, okay? And a developer comes in and sees that little parcel, that little lot, all by itself. Maybe I can stick a house up on that, and goes to try to get a variance for that. And I guess I got no problem kind of doing this for them. I just don't want to see someone take advantage of this situation in the
All right,
future.
I guess the
That's all.
question for me right now is,
It would be non-conforming.
with what Dave George thinks he might be able to get out of his office right now, might that satisfy your request?
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to see. I mean, if you want to look at it, yeah, we can't hurt to look at it. I don't want to make them run across the street, but
I have something from their surveyor. It's a draft plan. it has notes, I don't remember if it has a zone line, but it does.
I mean,
Right.
if it wouldn't be a lot of trouble, I'd like to see it.
I'll go get it.
If it-
Thank
Okay,
you,
It
Dave.
helps to
Thank you.
facilitate the.
I
That's-
just, I just
Thanks,
sent him
Dave.
an
That's very nice of you.
email
We're just
saying
not
that we
prepared,
did.
I guess. But I thought it was all done.
It was.
The work has been done, let's put
Okay.
that.
No,
Listen,
it was
this-
all
You know,
done. They
sometimes
don't
when you
get
get
it.
started on these things,
And to answer your
very,
question.
very rarely does anybody ever come in with every little thing that they're supposed to have, and
And,
it's just a process, that's all.
Oh, yeah, I
and to
know.
answer your question about it, like Willie just said, if somebody were to want to develop that, it's non-complying again. So you
They
guys
couldn't.
would have to approve it.
They wouldn't
They
be able
couldn't
to.
just, they couldn't just do it.
No.
Unless you guys wanna take the right of way and make it a legal street and
No, I
go
don't
from
want
there, but, right,
to. That's,
but we
That's-
own it, we'd
that's-
rather not.
20 years from now,
We
when
can't
we're
make that
gone,
street.
you're
We don't-
right,
we can't
somebody
make that
will do
street.
that.
Right,
But they will have to make it into a street.
yeah, you guys will have to approve it, no,
That
no
will
matter
have to
what.
become a street, and it's no
But-
different than any other big piece of land.
Yeah, and I apologize, because everything was done and sent to everybody. So,
Just didn't get here.
didn't get here and I didn't know it.
We've been,
So-
slowed down before.
Oh, yeah,
I can't,
people are human,
if
computers help too,
they
right?
get this
So I
line, you know,
just
we
sent,
say, okay,
Mark, this is last,
is this gonna become
email.
all 7?
this is
No,
owned by,
no,
this is owned
this
by
is somebody
somebody
else's
else.
property.
Okay,
They
so
don't
it's
own
gonna
701
strictly be
anymore.
this, okay.
Yeah, it'll just be that little chunk.
So I don't know how
That's
well
gotta
I
be
did
the-
it being
yeah,
on my
this-
cell phone, you
This
know,
lot, this
But,
lot,
They own this lot
they own this one too?
and this one, yeah.
Yeah, they do. You're right.
And, I mean, I haven't heard anything about a butters.
No, Tamika, we haven't heard anything?
Nobody online?
Nope, there's one person online, but there's no, I did not receive any communication. There's somebody named Amy Livingston
All right,
on the
Let's
call.
see if they want, have anything to say.
All right.
she's our neighbor, oh, I'll show you, she's our neighbor toward the center
all
of
right,
town.
all right. Well, while we're waiting for Dave, all right, so Amy Livingston, you're on the screen. Would you like to be heard at this time?
I joined just to listen. I just wanted to hear what was gonna go on over there, what the proposal was.
All right.
I'm following it the best I can here, and I'm, just learning as I go.
All right, could I ask where your parcel is in relation to the Walker's land?
We live at 122,
Okay,
so our backyard is at their barn.
okay,
Just this one up here.
all right. All right, thanks. Thank you.
It's 124, so 122 is,
Computers are amazing.
maybe that's 122 there, I don't know. There it is, right? That says 124 right there.
Yeah, Mark,
But if these are, separate lots, I mean, how are you gonna
cause I
butter
talked
over
to
here?
him.
There's a big
told
barn
him
on this
what
lot
Dave
right here.
wanted,
And they have
he
another
sent
little
it to
barn out
me,
here,
which is
there's
this
a house
stuff.
here and a house
And
here.
I said,
Right,
send
but this
it
is
to
the
me.
only thing in
well,
play, why are they
Well,
gonna
it's
butter?
it's
him
weird
and
because
he talked
some of these
to Dave.
parcels are
Because the
considered.
right of way is not a road.
And I
No, some of these
forwarded this
parcels are
email
considered 126 and some of them are considered 128
Nobody
in
got
Maple.
it.
So that's why if the abutter
Well,
list is
no,
kind of.
because
Well,
if
anyway,
he
she got
doesn't have
notice,
what
so
he's
she
looking
must
for,
be
and I agree with him, he
Yeah.
wants to know where the
What's the
boundary
cedar
line
lot?
is.
Yeah, because
That's
what's
not-
the cedar lot
she's
Right,
in a
it-
butter.
well, no, it's not the lot size, he wants to see
601,
where
I
it
think,
comes
is
into the
part of
TCD.
126.
Right.
Oh, yeah, 'cause
And that's fine, it's
124,
just-
this was 126, and then when they carved this out, they made it 128.
I'm pretty
So it
sure
does
we
the-
asked
does the
him
little-
to do
Hit the
that.
watts of stuff.
I don't think, yeah, none of Amy's, except for the driveway,
Yeah.
comes into play.
No, we're the abutters.
What?
We're the abutters to it.
So,
I don't
Your
know.
father's
First-
background.
Yeah,
assuming
no.
that you're gonna.
Yes, no.
I'm assuming you're.
No, she's not.
No problem.
Do you feel comfortable with?
Well, let me ask you a question, let's talk about this. Can we put an order in?
I
here
didn't know it
that
had
this- that
anything
this
to do
lot
with anybody yet,
becomes,
to be
lot
honest with
7?
you, because
Can we do
nobody
that
knew
on
where
our
we should go.
And the
we
problem
know where
with
we're
not
going
doing
and
that
what
is
we
that
can do,
what they're
then-
gonna end up,
See, I
this
just-
right away will start to
See, like
apply
this,
to 80
I just
again.
wanna see this all go away.
I wanna say.
It's all-
what
it's
we
all-
And then this is
voted, I
8,
don't know.
and then
Yeah.
this is all part of 7.
And what is that gonna do?
Well, it doesn't
Did
make
they
this a
notify
parcel
all-
anymore separate.
everybody, or
So
did
Anybody
they
would even
notify?
conceive of trying to do.
Yeah.
No, 'cause I just see, I think you should do this.
Well,
Some builder comes in here and he sees a lot,
Speak
and
up.
then it's a $100.
Does
Eventually,
everybody
it's
get
gonna be a
notified that they're
subdivision.
abutters,
I mean,
or
it
is
might-
it just
might be
public?
20 years, might be
Nope,
30 years.
they get a letter in the mail 2 weeks prior to the hearing, anybody
Well,
that's
and,
within 300.
It's too nice.
Oh,
of a
okay.
place.
To do that,
Not super
let's say you
right.
do make that an order
No,
of
yep, they
conditions.
do a radius of 300
Would the
feet,
process
that's
then
not
be
by
the
law.
assessor?
So yeah, everybody got it.
They're the ones that take the lot, by the way, yeah. Let me ask you this.
Yeah, I had no
Do we wanna
idea it
make
was
this
that,
whole TC2 this long?
that
I mean, do we wanna leave this little chunk of
serious
TC2 as part
a
of this?
meeting yet, you know, because
Yeah,
part
They,
of
there's
the-
they,
certain
part of
boards,
they wanted, that's what
planning
they wanna
See,
do.
the way they do
boards,
this right here,
commission
this would be
has
TC2.
to
Oh,
They, no, they,
notice
that's,
that abutters be
they wanna,
notified
they wanna draw the line
certain
there.
amount of time
make it a
before hearing
square.
gets
Okay, so this
But I'm just saying, are we
would
comfortable leaving that little TC2 chunk in that
based
big
on
concept?
what's the concern there, just
Well,
because.
remember the thing we just
I
went through
know,
last week?
but I
You
know.
put a drop of
I mean,
TC2 on something.
But that's not on any frontage.
Tamika,
It's in
Yeah.
the parcel.
could you
Well,
put
well,
it
actually,
on
but
the
the way-
back
the
again
way that-
so when
Adi, I
you-
got a
Remember-
parcel, Adi, I got a
I just
parcel,
said
can you
it,
help
I
me
was
out?
Yeah,
curious.
but remember what
Yeah,
happened
could you
with
slide it
that
down a
was that
little?
you need
Let's-
it's the frontage and where the zone lands in the frontage that brings up that issue.
Yeah, just drag it a little.
This
I wanna
way or
see-
the other
yeah,
way?
so Amy's
I
part.
didn't
It'll
think
be-
it was
it'll
clear,
be-
to
this
be
is the
honest with you.
frontage
I thought
right
it
here.
was-
There you go.
This is
The
the
one with all the
frontage.
little lots, that's what she wants
Yeah.
to see.
But you know what I'm saying
That was
about his
part of the
issue.
original
Yeah, I
too.
do.
You don't fall into that
This one up here was
Yeah,
what you wanted
that-
to see,
right,
zone
right?
that's
bylaw
Amy's.
unless the mixed
Yeah.
zone is
That was,
in the frontage.
There
I
is,
just,
You know, the
Part of all
frontage
of
is
this
here.
too.
listen, if I put a road up in here and I put a road down here, does this thing have frontage? And it's TC2 and there's 20,000.
Well, you're gonna need the town to, you know, that's not a road.
Which is why
I'm
it's.
saying,
Well-
if this 35 acres gets sold off in 10, 20 years from now, and somebody goes in there and wants to put a few roads in there, all of a sudden you got frontage on that back lot. Don't
Yeah.
be, you know, but don't,
But-
listen, I know what I'm doing, I know what I'd do.
Well,
Just
okay,
saying.
but I mean, that, to me, that's a whole nother kettle of fish. I mean, at that point, you're asking for all kinds of different changes and relief. I mean, I don't see that, I don't see dealing with
I don't think
this
too much, yeah.
as a
If you
thing,
get no concern.
you know?
I mean, I don't mind this thing, do you?
no,
Do you have a problem with this thing?
No, except I just wanna really understand. I think I do now.
well, maybe Art, do you wanna write the decision?
Well, you guys can, you're gonna have to look at it for me.
Yeah, we gotta get them we gotta get stated though on this application. I don't feel comfortable with that.
Okay.
About what bylaw they want, they, just for the record or something, you gotta have them state
Well,
that, don't you?
They're
That worries me, and
under,
I'm not even a lawyer.
they're,
Okay,
it would be under the frontage bylaw.
it's gonna be under 10B. It's a variance from the requirement of
For front,
of 10B, which requires 125 feet. So we're gonna give them a 125-foot variance if
What
we
about the
approve
hardship?
this.
What about the hardship?
I mean,
well,
Dave-
that's the, you know.
Dave phrases it differently, but
Is this a financial hardship?
I'd say, I mean, hardship,
Right? I got hardship,
I mean, the way this was all done, to me, that's a hardship.
right?
To me, it is.
Me too.
The shape,
I'm with you. Right? You agree with that, the way it is and just what it is?
you know,
It's
there's
Well,
a
I
lot of
think- I
legal
think
requirements and
the,
legal hoops that we have to,
The
like,
shape,
even if we want
you
to
know,
help
that
you,
falls in
it's
the,
like
But
you
the
know, the
part-
first
we're
prong.
required
Yeah.
to follow all these
Exactly.
procedures.
And that's
Yeah.
why I guess they sent us to you
Well, that's
guys
the
to
way,
see
the way
how
that,
it
Yeah.
you know,
was
first you
with
gotta
us.
Yeah.
show
If it, like I said, we could just
something
sell
about
it
the
as
lot,
is, it's just
and
that we wanna
then
keep the
it's
land.
hard.
We've all
Hardship.
inherited this
What's the-
ball of
what's the
wax that
hardship
was
if you
created
don't get the
50
relief?
years ago
Sure.
by a guy that did what he
Is
wanted to
agriculture.
do and
Right.
Maintaining
cut
his
it all
agriculture.
up.
Right.
I don't know how that
I
works,
know.
but.
See, this is where Amy
talk
is,
about that a little bit,
that's
though.
on the phone.
Yeah,
Get his,
Look at what they were gonna do with
Yeah.
this.
I mean, I just think the
That
whole
was
thing
same
was done too
person
fast.
This is the
owned
lady
our
that's on the
property.
phone. This is her property. There's
Right.
one lot. But look at what they were gonna do with it.
yeah,
It's awful.
100-foot little
It
houses.
was just like,
I don't know.
Yeah,
cool sandy beach.
yeah.
without the beach.
Without the beach, exactly.
It's so cool anymore, is it?
I mean, I don't know. I understand what you have to do too, though.
Do you wanna talk
That's why
about the
we're
hardship
here.
of it right now? Should we ask the hardship?
Well,
Should I get their side
well,
of it
we
now?
usually ask,
Basically, that's why we're doing
we
it.
usually
because
ask
we
the
can't afford
applicants
those.
what your hardship is, because under the bylaw, you're supposed to.
We can't afford 2 houses, and we
Okay.
can't rent right now
Alright,
because.
it's a financial hardship, and then it's supposed to be
That's my
related.
farmland.
Yeah, the way it's
And my
carved up,
barn
I'm
is
gonna,
on it.
I'm gonna call that the hardship, the way it's all carved up.
Yeah.
And the other,
And I realize you didn't do it.
the other thing is, we use that piece of land, cause you know, we raise our own food.
So,
Yeah.
so
We
the
got
hardship
50
is that,
chickens going in that field this
the
week.
hardship is that,
Coops.
that part, you know,
I think it falls under shape, the
Yeah.
big global shape, and more specifically, the way this was all carved up.
It's not soil, it's not topography,
right,
it has to be shape,
yes,
which is, that's not hardship, okay?
yeah,
But you have to have one of those three.
yeah,
There's multiple elements that you have to meet. Soil, topography, or shape, one of those things has to be what the problem is, and then the hardship piece is if you don't get the relief, what's the hardship for you?
And financial's acceptable, correct?
Yeah, it is. It says financial or otherwise.
Yeah, exactly, that's the way
No, we're not making that one up.
always written.
That's for sure. It
So,
just
I
costs
mean,
too
I
much
could
to
see
own 2 houses
shape,
in Rutland
Due to the
right now.
shape and then the
Financial
financial.
hardship.
Okay, yeah.
It just does. I mean, I go to work,
There's no
I'm
butters.
65 years old, I'm going
Would
to
you
work
mind
in
writing
that
this then?
house.
Because you kind of just really understood that very well.
Yeah, well, that's the highest, everything
You know,
else is
I
low.
own them all,
I mean,
Yeah,
that's,
I'll
that's
do
the
it.
hardest thing. I mean, honestly,
Nothing to pay
you gotta
bills.
get that right.
and I can't afford to
But,
do that, and I'm not gonna be able to go to work.
I still
like
wanna
that.
know what
How many years am I gonna be able to continue doing that?
your concerns are
As
if we
prices
don't
keep
have
going up.
a drawing
Right.
tonight that,
They're
that
all
kind of
water and
meets
sewer,
it.
you know what those bills are like now.
yes.
I guess-
'cause
I
that
guess
gets
I-
that gets into some
Well,
So
more
my
that
concern
actually
is, I don't know that
helps
we're
you
giving
here,
them
though.
20,000 square
Taxes,
feet.
water, and, oh,
The
yeah.
area.
It's not
Yeah, how do I know
acceptable.
it's 20,000 square
Yeah.
feet, not 18?
But
But isn't that for the
It's just-
planning board
I
to worry
keep
about?
it
I mean, they're gonna
if it
decide
wasn't
area,
Crazy money.
and,
Yeah,
I don't know, do
Can't
they?
afford to.
Well, that's
We're
kinda what
figuring
Dave said.
taxes
He's
gonna
saying
go way
if
up
they get the relief on
eventually
frontage,
All the values.
because
have
they
gone up,
think,
so
they
so
think
it's
it's in
gonna-
taxes are gonna go
TC2,
up,
It's
I
gonna-
think.
there's no problem with the area, that's why it's
If
gonna
houses
sail
went from
through.
300,000
Yeah,
to
I just don't feel
500,000,
comfortable giving
The
something when we
tax
don't
is gonna
know
be
the
40%
size of it.
more?
I just,
Well, I
they're,
mean,
they're only
just-
going
that's
in
my-
one
you
direction.
gotta be I mean,
Yeah.
they gotta have 3 votes.
but my income
Yeah.
isn't.
So,
That, when I
and I
when I
don't
was
mind this
30
thing at all. I
years
got no
old,
problem with it. I
starting
mean,
all of this, it was a whole different ball of wax there.
Oh,
too.
sure.
this
You
was
know,
done on
how
an area basis. They
35
said it
years
over here.
later,
That's what I mean, just kinda
I'm
jam it.
You
tired.
know, I mean, if they just, we've done it a
Tired. I
million
wake
times,
up tired.
continue it to the next meeting, and get X, Y, and Z,
Tough.
and then you're
It's
all,
not easy.
you're all set.
Yeah, exactly.
Not easy.
We'll see what Dave
No,
has
it's-
back. See what
And,
he's got. If this
it
thing's-
seems like a good solution to me. So I can continue to keep the farm.
I'm not sure this is gonna help, but
Oh, well, you could put it,
we don't have the zone line cutting through here.
yeah,
But according to,
That's all right.
according to a look at this, the TC is 400 feet back from Maple, and it runs parallel to Maple, and that's more than 400, that's,
Well, that's 259, and that's 118.
so that's less than, it's inside the 400 foot,
It's, yeah.
The whole lot.
yes.
I'm just eyeballing it, it looks that way.
Yeah.
But we do have a measurement tool on here that I,
It's 400 feet for the TC do?
approximately, using the measurement tool that's available on this GIS
Okay.
and tracing it, the TC goes about 400 feet and it's parallel to right now.
Right.
So it's like a blanket.
But haven't you guys looked at that? I mean, your thing is whether they meet the area, because you don't care, if they get the frontage, you say everything else lines up at the planning board
It
level.
would, yes, they'd have to grant it.
So haven't you looked at where the TC2 line is?
I did, I looked at it using the tools on this GIS.
But I mean, the planning board, are they, or you haven't really gone?
They're gonna
before
rely
them?
on, I think, staff's judgment on this. What I couldn't find is an official zoning map of circa 1968 that travels with the zoning book. The 68 change that
I'm
said,
sure you won't.
if I could have that, then that would be the best, but
All right.
and as you'll see, there's a note about the parcel being parcel B, not a buildable lot.
And that's right on
Yeah,
there?
they put it right on this right here. Parcel B, not a buildable lot.
Okay, great, great. All right.
All right, so 118 here says 118. I'm sorry, shoot.
So I guess I will ask for him to put that on, is just drop in the zone line.
I sent him an email. I
Well,
believe.
we had talked to him about it. I thought somebody had one. I know it was discussed. Obviously, it didn't happen.
Oh, I mean, okay.
Okay.
It'll be in the finished plan.
So that's not stamped because it's a draft, right?
It's not stamped, but it's a draft, but it
Which
represents
one's
the
the
final
stamp?
product. The
Don't
thing
we
we were
have a
working
stamp?
with were notes on the plan and how, what to call that 50-foot access, and some other notes. I guess we'll add this as a note that we now need, which is,
All right, so this says it's 20,150 square feet. All right, and this is not an exact rectangle because this is a little shorter than that side, you know. But if I took the frontage of 118, this is 150.
It's not frontage though.
Excuse
Lot
me,
line.
I understand it.
Sorry,
Right.
sorry.
162 times 180, so the sides are a little bit longer, so it's not, you know, it's a little too, but, I mean, when you do that number times this number, that's 19,000, just under 20,000 square feet, so, I mean, his calculation's probably right there.
That's a survey, that's
Um,
an instrument survey.
yeah.
So he was out in the field, so that's highly precise.
So, I mean, I'm pretty good with that,
All right.
all right.
And
And it's gotta be within TC2, because if he's
Yeah.
saying it's 400 feet from the road, I mean, you're only 377 feet to that lot
Okay.
line.
All
So
right.
even if it waves a little, Dave, right, the thing's in TC2, or
That's-
enough of it is anyways, right?
Yeah, well, but I mean, you know, you did what you.
I just wanted to make sure we knew where this thing's falling and that the square footage is, you know, accurate. Because I mean, honestly, I don't want to give them 19.5 and then, you know, it's another situation, another storm brewing. So I just want to make sure we're doing it right. That's all, guys. You know,
Okay.
and then
Yeah,
nothing
well,
comes back on you.
That's
You
why
sleep with
we've
it, you
hired,
know?
that's why we've hired the professionals too.
So if that is that something we could have submitted into this as record and then
Yeah,
we'll
why
go by
not?
that? Sure.
You make anything part
Yeah,
of
no,
it.
just to you and Tamika can clean that up, right? And
We can,
I mean, you guys good with that?
Yes, all right, so, are we ready?
Let's get this deal over.
No, are we ready
Sorry.
to close off the public input and go into board discussion mode?
I guess you'd ask them if there's anything.
Yeah, if there's anything else, I'm fine with you doing that if they're fine with it.
Is there anything else?
Please make your decision.
Okay.
Whatever we need
What
to
about
do to go
Mrs.
forward.
Livingston? Do you want?
Oh, she's
She talked, right?
I think she's all set, she did.
Oh,
I'm all
okay.
set, I'm all set. I want them to have, you know, what is right, and I hope that they get it.
Oh,
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Amy.
All right, so, I think all three of us agreed, the relief they're looking for is 100, and the way I expressed it, the way it makes sense in my mind is a variance for 125 feet of frontage. And, you know, planning board Dave is talking, we're agreeing that they could have zero frontage, so it's expressed differently, but it's the same thing. So I think all three of us agreed informally that we were in favor of this, and then Chris, you had some questions which I think have been answered?
Yep, no, I'm good, I'm good with it, per that drawing survey, I'm fine with that survey.
Okay.
That lot being carved out like that.
Great,
and
great.
Granting that frontage based on that size lot. Yep.
Are we ready to put this to a vote?
We have to close the hearing first.
Excuse me?
We have to close the hearing first.
Any other discussion?
I have nothing
No
else.
discussion?
Okay,
All right.
so I'll make a motion to close the hearing.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay. So the hearing is closed, and
Make a motion to
Vote on
Still-
the application.
vote on the
Vote.
application.
yeah,
Second.
it's 125 foot frontage variance
Yeah.
for the parcel, I guess we'll call it, I don't know
Lot
what do you
B.
wanna call it? Lot B, sub 8, yeah,
Lot A, yeah, lot
Yeah,
A,
whatever you-
whatever.
yeah. All right,
Do you
so,
wanna call it lot B for the record?
What do
Or
you?
wanna
Yeah,
keep it?
that's
What,
fine with
Dave,
me. What do you
maybe we
guys
should ask
call
Dave. I mean, I don't know if we can do this right now. We close the thing, but what should this lot be classified as?
I would refer to it
8A,
more or less as it's
8.1.
on this, I would mark this up as an exhibit.
Yeah.
And put lot A or something, and mark it up as an exhibit and say per the plan submitted, and identify that the relief is for this.
I mean, oftentimes they do like 701 was this one. So should we do this 801?
It hasn't been assigned by the assessor yet, but if you wanna.
Okay. All right. So
this
just
is,
lot. I got you.
this is just
All
informal.
right. Yep.
Yeah, but we've gotta have something to refer to in
So what do
this.
you want?
We'll call it lot B.
The
You
plan
guys
as
good with
an
that? Lot B?
Yeah.
Yeah,
There you go.
Just to identify this thing, give it a name.
Yeah.
Harry, Christopher.
Gonna call this
George.
exhibit A, the plan.
All right.
We'll just
So
refer
Tamika,
to-
Exhibit A is a survey plan, rough draft survey plan, showing the lot to be 20,150 square feet, and that lot is called Lot B. Okay?
What was that square, the?
20,150,
all right, so they don't need a variance for that,
not for the size.
not for,
It's just a
not for
frontage.
the
The
area.
front.
Yep, so this is just a variance for 120 foot frontage.
Alright, so did we get we have, I think we have the motion.
You have the motion.
We identified a couple things, but I think we have the motion.
Second.
Yeah, I thought.
Alright, so we'll put this to a vote, alright, as we just discussed, so all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Alright, so this is approved, and, we will have the decision in within 2 weeks, then there'll be a 20-day appeal period, and then you can take a certificate from the clerk down and get that recorded, get this decision recorded.
Then down to the planning board.
Right,
And
alright, so,
off you go.
so if I promise to if Art and I promise to review it,
Think
you'll
of?
draft it?
We're all set?
Sure.
You're all set for this
Okay.
part,
Right.
the next step would be the
Okay.
My
A&R
notes right now.
and the 2-lot common driveway.
Okay, thanks, Chris.
And the hardship was the size,
The
shape,
shape,
the shape,
Shape.
and the financial.
yeah,
Good. That worked, thank you.
Thank you, Dave, very much.
and thank you, David.
We just needed guidance, we didn't know where to go.
Nope.
Understand? No, we're here to help you.
confusing.
We're here to help you, but we also
It
got to
is.
kind of cover the legal,
Oh, sure.
T's and
Yeah.
I's and
That's
make sure
why-
they're crossed and dotted, and happy to see you
Well,
guys do well there.
If it had been done that way originally,
Yeah.
it probably it wouldn't
I
exist.
think back in '72,
Right.
everybody knew each other when there's 600 people in town. It wasn't
Alright.
like
It was
a variance was like
nice.
a meeting at the coffee shop, and yeah, just
Right.
go ahead. I'll come and inspect it next week, and
Right.
whatever. Who knows, right?
Okay, so
People being people.
we actually have a
Helping
couple
each other
more
out.
things on the agenda, so you're welcome to stay, it's a public meeting, but you can leave it, that's
Thank you
great
very
too.
much.
You can have some.
Alright,
Thank you.
you're very welcome.
Good luck, guys.
Take
Thank you
care,
guys
take
very
care.
much.
See you.
Best of
Good
luck
to
with
see
your
ya.
property.
Good to see you.
Hey, Dave, could I just ask Dave one quick question?
Of course,
Or
of
just-
course.
Hey, Dave, on this TC1, TC2 thing in the bylaw here,
Yeah.
I just want to show you. I don't know. One thing looking at this today, I found it funny that in TC1, which is somewhat more liberal, and TC2 is more restrictive. Would you say, in general?
Yeah, TC1 is 10 versus 20,000 for TC2.
Yeah.
Yeah, the last for additional
But
dwellings.
do you see the
less front,
bottom two there, Dave?
Minimum open space.
Like you can have 4 stories in TC2 with 35s. Doesn't that seem backwards? 50-foot high building and 4 stories in TC2, but you can only have a 45-footer and 3 stories in TC1. I just want to point that out to you.
Yeah, no, I see.
I don't know if that's wrong,
It's weird.
right? I mean, everything else is more restricted, but then you can
The other way
go,
around, that
logical.
all the less restricted would be all together.
right?
Yeah, I guess.
Okay.
I don't know. I just want to point that out to you if the planning board has a concern or something to change it.
Right,
I don't know. I know you do a lot of that
Thank
stuff,
you.
but personally, what it is, what it is.
I'll make a note of it.
You know.
Put it in my list of.
okay, so the next item on the agenda are the minutes from May 19th. These were tabled 2 weeks ago at the meeting, July 14th, and I see they've been revised. Basically, we just had a quick question about the vote, and the way it's set forth here is that we voted on it. I mean, it was either yay or nay, and that's the way it's expressed here. Am I correct in
Yeah,
that?
so I went back and watched the recording, and it was my error, and sometimes I get confused because this board votes differently than other boards.
Sure.
So it's usually like approve or deny, whereas you guys just say what it is, and then it's a yay or nay vote. So that was my error, so I hope that I corrected that. to
I
how
think you
guys
did.
like it to be.
I'm
Okay.
satisfied with it. I'm happy with it.
Okay, perfect.
Did anyone else have any issues about the whole, I think
No, I think that was-
Tamika
that
cleared
wasn't
it
Yep,
up.
there anyway,
that was, yeah.
so-
No, that's fine.
Okay.
Yep.
Alright, so.
I'm good with all both meeting minutes.
Alright, well, alright, so I think we can probably vote on these together.
Sure.
Alright,
I'll make a motion to vote on both of these minutes.
Second.
alright, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, all opposed? Alright, so we're accepting both of these, May
Yep.
19th and July 14th.
Yep.
Tamika, is there any other business we need to discuss?
Could I just ask Dave one quick question?
Okay, sure.
Hey, Dave, on the special permit I spoke to you about
Yes.
for the home occupation permit, is that $500 special permit? Is that just what it is? There's no adjustment on that?
Can we, I plan on staying for
Oh,
the rest
okay,
of this
sure.
meeting. Maybe we can
Yep,
just-
no problem then.
I don't know if you wanted to talk about, was there a letter for membership change?
Yes, that's what I was gonna mention. So I had sent that letter to the TA and the select board office.
Right.
They would just like clarification on how long you would like the terms to be for new membership.
I'm not gonna speak for the whole board, but myself, I just envision keeping everything exactly the same.
That's fine.
3-year terms, the existing members presumably are still going to be on this new expanded board if the select board approves it. And we will just keep our existing term limits and 3 years.
They're not all 3 years though.
I think the alternates are different.
Some of them, you're right, some of them aren't because you're filling other terms. So, but the general term
Keep it the way it
is
is.
3 years.
Whatever.
Sometimes you're filling in other terms. Yeah. So, in other words, keep it the way it is.
Mhm.
3 years, unless you're filling someone else's term.
Right.
Chris, am I correct?
I thought, for some reason,
An
I
associate member
thought-
doesn't have a different term, do they?
I thought the three of us had different year terms. Different.
We're all
Well,
over
they
the
come
place.
up at different times,
Yeah.
but they're 3 years,
Yeah.
probably, right?
No, I just thought like,
Depends on when you got on.
yeah, all right. I'm
We
not
all,
sure.
no, we all got on different times.
Yeah, I know, but I just thought like, hi Peter, some of the, I just thought there was
Peter
like 2 year
knows.
terms and 3 year terms and even
When
1 year
Peter
terms.
comes in,
Oh,
he
no,
knows
no,
the answer.
no. Like
Well,
the
you
way
gotta-
the selectmen
you gotta
are elected.
Talk about this?
Yes, the board is elected to staggered 3-year terms. And now, at least the regular members, I haven't looked at what the alternates are, but, so that means that each year, because it's a board of 3, each year, one person comes up and they're reappointed to 3-year terms.
Okay, so they're 3 year.
Yes.
Okay. I just thought I had a couple that was
Okay.
like 1 year in a row I got reassigned.
You have it out there though.
That's true.
Yeah, but that one doesn't show, oh, it does show alternates, okay.
Yes, it does, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's already staggered.
Yeah, so they're every,
So if you were to go to 5, if I remember correctly, your discussion last time was to have the select board change the charge to be a 5-member board. And so it would mean that one of the members would be appointed to 2 or 3 years and the other would be appointed to 1 or 2 years. So to keep the,
It's the stagger.
you stagger them, you have as many, as close as practical, the same number of seats are reappointed each year. Now, because there are only 5 and it's 3 years term, there's one that's gonna be shorter, one fewer.
which would be the
number.
case even if you did the shorter terms either. So.
That's right,
All right, isn't that exactly the way the selectmen do it right now?
yes,
No.
that is,
No,
They do the
they're-
1 and 2 year terms.
They're elected though. So it
Yeah, but
depends on who
they
they're
only,
elected.
but some of those terms are 1 year or 2 year.
it varies.
They're not all 3-year terms.
It varies from board to board. In general, they're either 3-year terms or 1-year terms. I don't know of any that are 2 off the top of my head.
Okay.
An
Would
RDIC
it be-
is 5.
And it,
What's that?
An RDIC is 5, I believe.
That may be, I don't remember that one.
I would suggest just going with 3 year terms.
Yeah.
3-year
And just,
staggered
just
terms.
and stagger them. So, let's say in 22 there'll be 2 people, in 24 there'll be 1 person, 23 will have 2 people. So we just keep rotating like,
Yeah,
whatever.
I just to keep it the same, the 3-year terms, and if the select board wants to tweak it, I mean, they're the appointing authority anyways, it's not up to us.
Mhm.
So.
So these 2 new
that's what-
terms
that's what we
basically
like.
wouldn't end the same time.
Correct.
The first year would be like a 1 year term, and then the next, or the first one would be a 2 and a 3 year term.
Mhm.
Right?
That makes
And then after that, they're 3 year occurring.
Right, after that, it just
After that, it's 3
defaults
years.
to 3
Yeah.
years.
Yes.
That way, there to Peter's point, you have 2
Right.
every 2 years. You have 2 people, and on the 3rd year, you have 1 person being elected. And then again, 2, 2, 1, 2, 2, 1.
Have we made it impossibly confusing?
Yeah, I'm gonna say it as best as I can and believe that they probably know what it means because they've done it enough.
I wanna go, I'm willing to go with that.
Yeah.
That makes sense to me.
Sure.
Thank you,
And
Tim.
Rick, while I have it pulled up, I just wanna make sure, cause I know we talked earlier, that everybody's name is correct and everything is listed. Is this the page that you were referring to?
No,
Oh, do you wanna
there's
know which
actually a general page, if you click on boards and commissions,
Yes.
there's a page that has everybody's term.
Oh, if you click on all boards and that one?
Well, I
No,
don't
that's
know,
not it.
it's really, I don't know, I'm not in front of my computer, but it had all the boards, everybody, like one after the other.
I believe that was the reappointment list.
That was the reappointment list? Okay.
I believe, that's the place that I can think of. where it
I don't
was.
know what I clicked on now, but,
I think that's on this page.
yeah.
FY22 right there.
There it is.
Maybe it just says the low, well, I don't know,
Yeah, those are the pages right there of every year terms.
that kinda looks like it.
Yeah.
Well, no, cause you wouldn't have been on here because you
No?
guys, no, cause you weren't up for reappointment, so it
Alright,
wouldn't have been.
wait a
on.
second, I just saw ZBA.
Yeah, Chris and Paul.
Oh, my
Um,
name's not on that?
Go to ZBA.
Oh, well, it said,
Chris
I,
and Paul work for reappointment.
could you go back one
Yeah.
on that?
So that's just a 2022 reappointment,
Okay, that's fine.
Correct, you guys.
or
your
21
seat-
reappointment. I was
your
reappointed,
seat's
yeah.
It
Yes.
says local appointed boards and committees. Did you already click on that one?
What?
The
This one?
Yeah, that one. That might be it. If you, why don't you scroll down? I think that's it.
Here we are.
Oh, that's way out of date.
Oh, yeah.
You see,
very out
it's
of
just
date.
just so they left an R out of my name, that's all. And,
This is, no, but this is good because, we actually just literally, we formed a committee to update the
Okay,
website and make
okay.
some changes.
Clean all this stuff up.
I didn't even know this page existed.
yeah,
So
that,
that's-
I just
I
happened to
know.
click on it and I saw it. Okay.
Okay.
Not a
I'm
big
so glad,
deal.
cause I was like, I was looking at the Board of Appeals page, I'm like, I know I've spelled his name this way 1,000 times, I did it
Oh,
wrong
yeah.
the whole time, and then I was like, no, I think I'm looking at the wrong page, so I'll make a note of that. So what, local appointed boards and commissions, okay.
So, one thing on the, we're just still gonna stick with the 3 alternates? So it'll be 5 plus 3 will be 8 total people?
I think Art
From the
had
six?
mentioned
Yes.
adding more alternates,
Well,
right? Based
That's,
on
that,
vote.
I
You're gonna need
I
a quorum
suggested
of 5.
and other people said, we need 3 alternates. I said, fine. Because if
We
there's
already
5,
have 3 alternates.
if there's 5 people on the board, we said, okay, just stay with the 3 alternates, so 5 and 3.
Mhm. We can do
And,
that.
and the quorum is 4 in dire need, correct?
True, yeah.
Yeah, that would
That's
be.
what they do in
that's-
Holman.
That would be an emergency.
Yeah, it's 5 plus 2. 5 regular members
All
and
right,
2
well,
alternates.
if that's,
5
you know,
plus
I'm
2.
comfortable with it. 3 is even better.
In my prior experience, it was 5 full members and 6 alternates, so the number of alternates seems to be flexible.
Okay.
Well, but I mean,
A
Holman
quorum of a
seems
board
to
of
survive the
5.
way it is.
If this were to be expanded to 5 people, the quorum would be 3.
But in order to vote.
Alternate
and have-
members do not, when alternate members are not active members, which they would not be unless they were needed for quorum, then they don't count towards quorum. In terms of determining the size of quorum, it's the size of the board, of regular members of the board,
Right.
divided by 2 plus 1, basically.
But the issue there is that the board couldn't take any meaningful action, except administrative action, if you only had 3 members, because you need 4 members to vote something. Like
If they need a
special permit or
supermajority, yes,
variance, yeah.
that's certainly true.
I'm thoroughly confused.
Well, all right.
So let's just go with the 5 and the
For-
3.
For the zoning board,
It's good enough.
we're under 40A, and it is, I mean, for what it's worth, it specifically says you have to have 4 votes.
Well, what he said was divided by 2 plus 1 is 3.5, so you have to have the 4.
Okay, okay,
I mean, you know,
okay.
that's the 4.
Right, for administrative action, you need 3. For
Voting.
voting on
anything.
an appeal,
Yeah.
on anything, you need 4.
I think we're all in agreement.
Yep. So do the 5 and the 3. All right, so we'll just have to add 2 more alternates to our 6-person
Yeah,
setup right now.
yeah, but again, it's
fishing
not,
for a
again, it's
couple
not
more.
our decision, it's just a suggestion on our part. I can live with it either way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, is there any other business?
Just a quick heads up, if there is gonna be another variance application coming down the pike, for Finn Park Road. Dave's been working with the applicants and
Yeah.
it's starting to get in motion, but I don't yet have what I need to submit to
Yeah,
you
why
yet.
don't we wait? We'll-
Yeah, I just wanna give you a heads up that it's coming.
Very
I
good.
won't discuss it, I'm just,
Thank
there'll be
you.
another.
That's
meeting.
always tricky
Right.
out there.
Right.
But I
Okay,
think that's it.
all right, so do we have a motion to adjourn?
I make a motion to adjourn.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, all opposed? All right, thank you.